Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and others, and welcome to, got to work this out, it's Sunday, which is the day after race day, so therefore it must be stage 7, and this is race day. They, competitors, are in the bivouac that's far, far away. They're on their own. It is the first half of the marathon stage. But before we get there, we're joined by the gang as usual, the fastest Playboy supercar driver in the world, an ex-model, the famous man about international superstar Simon Murray. Thank you very much for joining us, Simon.
Thank you. I mean,
Gangster of note. And my sidekick, Andrew the Horn Dog, will look after you today when you write and enter the competition that we're going to talk about. We'll let you know. So, Simon, Horn Dog, thank you very much.
Colin.
I might remember everybody's name. And then somewhere on the southern tip of Africa, close to the sea, where there's all sorts of bushes and birds and stuff, and a beach. Steffi Vetter from the Southern African Dakar Group. Thanks for joining us again, Steffi. Good to see you.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back on this cold, grey day here and a cold day grey over in Saudi for Southern Africa.
I think, yes, it's shit happened today in a number of ways and in many, many varied ways. We'll get onto that. We have somebody standing by in the bivouac, but we're just quickly going to, I said yesterday when we spoke to James Alexander that we would give an update of where he is. Well, we've got a picture of where he is. He hasn't finished yet. He started stage 7 today at 8 o'clock South African time. He's gone past kilometer 358. He's been riding for 5 hours and 15 minutes. It's a long, long day for James, and eventually he will get to the bivouac where he has to, as per normal, work on the bike on his own. Right. So that is, we'll let you know where he goes and what happens. Let's quickly get the two parts of the bad news over. And in the bike, Steffi Vetter, the real bad news was that we were watching and then saw that Ross Branch was running really, really well, and he became stationary. So Steffi, talk us through those moments where your eyes became wet.
Colin, one of the many heart-stopping moments today. Yes, Rossi was going so well. Kilometer 33 to the detriment and everybody, not a dry eye in Southern Africa. I mean, you had to be in the Wizard of Oz not to start crying when we saw Rossi bounce. Absolutely horrendous. And then to see him sitting at his bike, crying desperately again.
So for those, Steffi, let me quickly interrupt you. For those that didn't see, and we can't show you the pictures because of rules and things, and the command council of the French, they will send a missile. Going down on a track, moves to the left of, or in the sand, moves to the left of the tracks, crosses over, and then something happened. We suspect that the chain broke, and the back kicked out a little bit of correction, and boom, into the sand, which damaged the radiator which, on the right-hand side of the bike. So you can see that there's some pictures of it. The chain got all wrapped up. The bike ground to a halt, and
is he out?
No, he's not out, Simon. He managed to get going again.
Wow.
And not as quickly as he should have gone. Steffi, you give us the update of where he ended up finishing.
Colin, yeah, just touching on that whole, the whole chain theory. There's been a lot of theories bouncing around social media, and I'd love to hear from everybody out there. One is that possibly there was compression as he landed. 2, the chain was too tight. 3, there was something with the rear sprocket. So anybody out there, get involved, send us a message. Let's hear what you have to say. Rusty finished in P27. He's moved slightly out on the GC to P15. But what an inspiration. That warrior just got up on his bike, carried on driving, pinning it. It was just insane. His group was going off. We were all going off. It was fantastic to see. He was very disappointed. Clearly, he was interviewed at the end. We can't show it again. Rossi, all we can say to you, my boy, you are a legend, and we absolutely love you.
He's still in the race. That's the important thing. His body's not injured. Bikes you can fix.
The
The thing is, tonight is It's the marathon sleepover. So in the bivouac tonight, there are no mechanics. You can only use on the bikes, you can only use your own tires. And we're going to talk about cars and tires and things because the tire lurgy struck once more again. We'll get to that. So on the bikes, you can only use your own tires, but we've had that discussion since forever. And you've got to you can work on your bike, you can accept some parts and stuff from fellow competitors, and that might mean also a fellow competitor in a T5 truck. In the truck, he might have all sorts of stuff, and we're going to talk to you about needing a T5 truck next year.
Yep.
So the T5 truck would be, the teams would rent space in it, and there's bits and pieces and enough stuff. If they change a piston or a motor, 15-minute penalty.
Can other bike competitors work on it? Can they work on each
Yes.
other's bike? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you
So you don't have
can't,
to do it all
as
at
long as you in the race,
Okay.
you can work on stuff.
Okay.
If you're a bike guy, you've got to keep your own tires.
Okay.
So, and we'll get to some of the cars where they're moving tires around and all of that. That's the whole spirit of Dakar. We are one, and we shall help each other. You've got to learn these rules.
Okay, I'm quick.
You've got to learn.
I must
Because
take notes.
breaking news, we'll get to Simon just now. Our international modeling agency recruit has signed the world's largest male model agency as a sponsor for around about this time next year. Steffi, bikes. Yesterday we spoke to Skylar Howes, and how cool was it that he came in third today, 2 minutes 19 off. And I think that's a lesson to all bikers. If you want a really good result,
Talk to Colin.
come on race day. I mean, so you're going to have a good result because you on race
Next,
day. It's
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. Ricky Braybeck, 4 hours, 13 minutes. It's a long day. But again, small gap, Steffi, 10th. 6 minutes, 46.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Colin, if you actually look at the top of the order on the stage, you've got Ricky and Nacho. Now, look, they're teammates, they're great friends, they ride together. You've got Skylar in third, 2 minutes, 22nd. Exactly what he was talking to us about last night, he put into place. You go from there, you've got Sam Sunderland and Daniel Sanders on the KTM, De Sultre, 3 minutes 57 back on the Husky. Toby Price, 5:05 off Ricky. Benavides on the Husky, Rodriguez on the Hero. Then you've got Jamie Caney on the Yamaha, Russ's teammate, and Van Beveren in 11th, bringing out the Yamahas. I mean, those gaps are absolutely nuts. But it's exactly what we were talking about yesterday. The strategies are coming into play. We're seeing a shuffling in that top order. Yeah, Ricky, I'm really happy for him that he has won a stage. I think he's worked hard and I think he deserves it.
Yeah. There's stuff happening on the screen, and I've got ADD, so I can't multitask. I can only see one thing at a time, and then my mind, I've got to restart the
wondering,
mind. And
yeah.
Don't you hear that as well?
Where's the leading GS though? Are they?
A GS? What's
Yeah.
a GS, Simon?
They're like I've got it home. The big.
No, they
GS.
don't do
Are
it.
they not?
No.
The guys at the dealer told me I can do Dakar. on
But
a
they
GS.
lied. Didn't you realize it?
I
They
was just
lied.
thinking, are you sure they know GS?
Yes. Simon, don't believe what a car salesman tells you.
Okay, it's a horrible surprise.
It's a
isn't
horrible
it?
surprise. But hey,
Well,
bikes overalls. Honda KTM, Husqvarna Honda, same. I mean Husqvarna KTM, Honda. Kevin Benavides in 5th and 15th. Ross Branch, 40 minutes and 57 off the lead.
Colin, look at the top order. 1 second. Nacho's 1 second
Yeah.
off Toby Price. It's absolutely
That's
nuts.
insane. Over
Sam
that distance.
Sunderland sitting really solidly again, and then
Yeah.
you've got Kevin Benavides. The Raiders moved down. The top 10
Skylar
is starting
Howes.
to sort of.
No, carry on.
Skylar's right
Don't
up there in
interrupt me.
7. Yeah, no, it's all good. And then, of course, our darling Rossi has moved slightly out to 15th. But you know what? There's still time. He's right up there. He's going to get back in there. He's going to do it. I know he is.
And then I've got question mark, James Alexander, question mark. So we don't know. He's still riding furiously and carrying on. But I think it's time about now because we have a guest. We were totally privileged, but he gets grumpy AF.
Stuart.
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 So
He does
Stuart
get
was
grumpy.
in the bivouac and he's got grumpy and he's moved
gone.
on. Hopefully Stuart will come back. And then we can talk to Stuart, because he's responsible for a whole
Yep.
bucket of parts. And I mean, he runs your car,
Yep.
and he's going to run your truck next year.
Yep.
Is it the truck or the big announcement that Simon had earlier? Simon, do you want to just tell people what you're going to be doing around about this time next year?
I'm going to be driving that car in Saudi.
In Saudi.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Done deal.
Well, I mean, it's only done when you're in Saudi driving the car. But
But
I
you
was,
made
I
the
was sitting on the
decision.
couch watching. And I thought, fuck, I mean, I'm not doing anything next year this time.
Yeah.
I've got the car.
Modeling contracts
How
are up
hard
next
can
year.
it be? So that's it. We're going next year. First side-by-side South African.
How cool is
Yeah.
that? Congratulations.
South African designed and built.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I think like 5 of the top 10 side-by-sides are running this chassis, which is with him and Stuart. So
WCT
Yeah.
Engineering.
So
What does
let-
that stand for again?
I don't know. I don't
World-class
think any. So that's it. We'll take a South African designed, built, driven off to Dakar. How hard can it be?
Yeah. Andrew, have you got some questions, queries, and or comments? And you've got an announcement. Apparently there's a competition that you decided to run.
I thought that was what you were doing. But anyway, first things first, just back on Ross's photos. The photos that we brought up, Greg Sharman and Clyde, James Alexander's right-hand man, has pointed out that the photos were of Ross's KTM last year, not of his Yamaha this year. But I think the point of that that Steffi brought up was he had a similar crash and the exact same issue as last year, with the chain sort of coming off and balling up. And there have been a few comments, people saying as he landed sideways, it moved the sprocket and bent it over. So
Of course,
that's just that statement to wind that up.
sitting 10,000 kilometers away behind our laptops, we know all the detail
All
of it.
experts,
I'd love
yeah.
to be able to talk to Ross and find out really what happened, but not possible at the moment. So let's not speculate. He crashed. He got going. He lost time. He's still in the race. Those are the bits that...
Ballsy ride back to finish where he finished, and he's limited his damage in the GC, which is really, really important.
Andrew Horn, that's an astute comment from you. Thank you.
I'm full of them. Don't worry about it.
We must just give you time. So
No,
those of you who are
anytime.
watching, one of the questions is Simon Murray's car in the background here. Simon has offered to take people for a drive in the car. Yes?
Yeah. Flat.
Just like
Flat,
a pin it,
flat,
a proper,
flat.
proper
Flat.
on dirt road.
Yeah,
Flat out.
yeah. No, it's rough.
Okay, it's
And
right.
flat, and
Yeah?
with jumps.
And
Flat.
jumps.
Yeah.
Okay. All you have to do, how many people, Simon?
3.
3 people.
Not at the same time. One after the other.
Consecutively
Yes.
or randomly?
Whatever. It's, you know.
Okay. We have to, in terms of the rules and regulations of the Command Council, we have to ask a question. So the question we have chosen is, please name the fuel partner for Simon Murray's side-by-side vehicle. If you get it correct, and when Andrew Horndog puts your name in at the end of the show, that we'll pick the 3 winners. If you're still watching and you reply within 95 seconds of him publishing it, you will be able to win. So there's it. Just stay watching. Right, let's quickly get... Have we done bikes, Steffi? Have we had our fill of bikes?
Colin, I'm a bit worried about what happens tomorrow. So they're in Sakaka tonight.
Yeah.
And they've got to they're in the marathon bit. We've gone through that. They've then
Yeah.
got to get across to Neom. Now,
Yeah.
pictures have come out on social media, so it's a good long haul again tomorrow. They've got a fairly long liaison.
700 and
got
something Ks, yeah.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, really, really very long. And if you look at the images that are coming out of Toby Price's back tire, well, he is going to have to play it very smartly tomorrow. It's held together literally with cable ties. So it's
Have we
you
got a
wonder-
picture of that we're allowed to use? Ah, there we go. Cable ties.
Wow.
I don't see duct tape.
There's always room for some duct tape in there. And he can't change tires. He can't swap with another bike rider.
No,
No.
He has to keep his own tires on.
Wow.
But he might be able to, if he's got his spare there, he can put a spare on, can't he?
Yeah, well, let's see what everybody thinks, because this is going to play a massive role with the marathon. They can only get back to their assistance teams tomorrow night, So hopefully they've got the spares out there. But let's get everybody involved. How do you think it went for Toby today? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Because it's going to be a cracker after today.
Well, you know, he lying second overall, 1 second off Cornejo. It's going to be fun. So let's get to cars. What have we got there? I can't see that far. Ah, that's bikes. Cars, stage. Yazid Al-Raji and Dirk van Zitswitz winning it, which is kind of a surprise by a very, very tight 48 seconds from Stefan Peter Hansel. But we'll talk about that mini and why Peter Hansel, he was well ahead and he slowed near the end, and there's he had a cracked back suspension member, but we'll talk about that when we're done with the results. Carlos Sainz, NASA Al-Attiyah, they were taking it easy and 2 minutes 48 behind, but still fourth place. Those gaps are small, really, really are small. And then the CR6, two CR6s, Yasser and Matteo in 6th and 8th. The one we are missing is Brian Baragwanath and Tay Perry. And they had broke a suspension, they hit a rock, broke a suspension thing, exactly the same issue that Matthew Serradori had when he broke his suspension arm. And they still coming.
Still coming in.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
I'll give you an update if you like.
Yeah, thanks, Horn Dog. So the thing is that this lower control arm at the back is broken.
Yep.
The wheels all flippy-floppy.
Yep.
They've got to drive, they stop, takes 30 minutes to strap it up, and then they carry on driving.
And obviously no support truckers.
Well, the truck hasn't got there yet.
Wow. Okay,
So either the truck's missed them, or, you know, it really is a major.
They've lost 6 hours and 18 minutes, and they're at waypoint PK 215 is the last one they've gone through. So they're somewhere between there and 242.
Are they? Have they finished the special stage and they're in liaison now?
No, they're halfway through.
No, they haven't even got there.
Oh.
No, this is going to be a long day.
Another 200 Ks to go.
Yeah.
Is there a time cutoff for them?
Steffi, you know that. There is a time cut off. We're not sure exactly what it is tonight, but we suspect that there's going to be some movement on that cut off because of the number of cars and bikes that are still in the stage.
And do we know if they can get spares at the...
Yes, there is one of the other SRTs has got the lower control arm in the car, but they were moving when the cars came past them, so the guys didn't think, and there's no radios.
That's brutal.
Simon,
that is just
this
brutal.
Is a brutal race. You're going to have to go
I'm realizing now this might be...
head camp to get to toughen up. But
no, I've been there before.
We've got some end pulls.
Yeah. No, I've been there before, Ted.
The really cool thing is just on the stage today, Shamir Variawa and Dennis Murphy, brilliant run, 15th.
That's
Janelle
really
de Villiers.
That's really good.
Yeah,
15th.
For Shamir, it's brilliant.
That's amazing.
Janelle and Alex had 4 punches. And if you do your maths, they carry 3 on the 3 spare wheels. So they had to wait to get another spare wheel.
Can they restock with spare wheels now overnight?
I'll tell you now about the tires because once we've discussed the overall results, we've got some pictures of tires. And I think it's great to share them. Thank you very much to TGRSA for sharing the pictures. Sebi Loeb, 42nd, hour 50 minutes behind. Also drama with the BRX. Once these things start giving drama and braking, they generally carry on.
And it's amazing how much time you can lose. I mean,
Very
you're there fighting for seconds, and then suddenly there's 2-3 hours gone.
Yeah.
It's
So overall, Peter Hansel and Edward Bullinger. Now remember, Bullinger's his new navigator. Hey, they've never driven before this race. They've extended their lead over NASA and Matthew, who Glenn told us that Matthew and NASA took it relatively easy today. They thought they could make up time, but then they realized they couldn't. And Carlos still third. Przgonski, 4th, Roma up to 5th. Because you remember who was 5th, but that's no more. And then Janil was 8th, is 8th overall. So again, he's consolidating his position in the top 10. And if Shamir is up to 31st from 32nd. Sebi Loeb is 41st, and then question marks Brian and Tay where they are. So let's talk about these tires. And they've been... Steffi, you got anything you want to add about the cars?
Yeah, I just want to jump in here, Colin, just to, just also let everybody know in the background. Matthew did stop and to offer help as well. They got a spare link. They got a shaft, but they didn't get a spare link. So that's why Brian and Tay are having to, box really smart. Not forgetting it's cold, it's wet, it's dark there now. They are doing everything in their power. People have been asking us how many checkpoints can they miss, how many waypoints can they miss, without getting penalties. But look, obviously waypoints, we know what, 20 minutes a waypoint. They can only miss 2 checkpoints. So it's going to be a struggle. They are up against it at the moment. The cutoff midnight Saudi time, 2300 our time. It's going to be a battle, but we just fingers crossed they can get there. It's Tay's second year in a row that she's doing this in the desert. Not pretty.
No,
Steffi, are they on their own? Are there other cars with them? I didn't see when we had it up there quickly on their own.
They are on their own. They
Oh,
are
that's
out there
brutal.
on their own in the dark. They were the last car on the road. I'm not 100% sure if all the trucks have gone past them. Possibly someone can update us on that.
Okay.
But it's going to be a battle, and they're fighting. So let's just stay positive. Let's keep our hope.
I'm
And
really
Yeah,
holding thumbs, and it would be so tragic if
Yeah.
they didn't make it.
Yeah. No, that would be just
it's,
heartbreaking. Huh?
it
Yeah,
truly
they are
is.
very much on their own still. It's a long way back.
In the dark, in the desert, in the cold, that is just.
Yeah, it's 19
And-
o'clock at the moment.
And then, obviously, when they get in, there's not like there's the whole team there to sort their car out for them.
Well,
That's the-
provided
They
they
put it
get
in
in
themselves.
Yeah.
during the night.
Yeah.
Because the truck, it's not a Century Racing truck. It's a
Okay.
truck that's SRT racing team.
Yeah.
It's their truck,
Okay.
but they all run CR6s, so the guys will help, and there are some spares on it, and they'll
That's all. It's
no
tough,
doubt
huh?
the guys.
After a day like this, now you've got to still work on the car. And
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, no, it's completely, absolutely brutal. I want to just touch on some of the tires. When we say the guys got punches, what you and I, when we drive down the road in my little Suzuki, and you in your gangster, that car that sounds so brutal, we have a puncher. It's normally a nail or a
Yeah.
screw or something like that. So let's have a look at some of the images. These are the rally tires. So it's got murred by a stone. It's
Sidewall
more
cut in
a
there.
sidewall impact
So-
damage.
I mean, we've had a lot of those in the side-by-side this year. If you load it up in a corner,
Yeah.
bang a rock on the side, you really don't even have to hit it that hard.
Yeah.
Sidewall cut like that, flat instantly, nothing you can do. Can't
Yeah.
repair it, can't, like
and you
nothing. It's
can't
done.
drive it.
No.
And then
done,
you
done.
hit another rock and big chunks. And these things, the cars are going, there's massive impacts. I actually really do feel sorry for the tires. And we'll just go through here. You'll see it. I mean,
Yeah, those all look like sidewall
all
cuts on them.
sidewall
Yeah.
impact. And there's, as we get closer to the end there, again, big impact. Look, that tire, if you have a look at it, it's virtually brand new. Lumps, as the tire runs down, it generates a whole lot of heat, and then the bits and pieces of the tire start coming off.
I understand some of the...
Right, so there's a tread delamination. The whole
Wow.
tread just separates from the carcass, and it's smooth. These are some of the pictures that came out of Saudi today.
The side-by-sides had been having a few tire issues, honestly,
Yeah.
with running very low pressures
Yes.
to float over the sand. The tires then overheat and had been damaging or
And
looking
bikes,
at
when
changing.
they run, the mousses overheat
Yeah.
as well. So that just gives you a kind of indication of the tire. This is not it's to share information of what the tires look like. So Janelle de Villiers has 4 punches today. They're carrying 3 spares. So in the T5 truck for Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are new tires in there. So those brand new tires will go on to Nasser's car because he's got to fight the minis. And Nasser's old tires will go on Janelle's car, and then they'll swap tires around and just make sure that everybody's got the right spares. We spoke about Stefan Peter Hansel slowing down towards the end. Fritz, if you've got that picture with a green circle on it, in that green circle there, you can see that's a lower control arm, and it is completely cracked. So a rear lower control arm. So they will replace that control arm, and that little cable that goes through the clip, that's to hold the mud flaps on, so that to try and protect the suspension parts. If that was the Pro Drive car, it would have been fully CNC machined and cost about 27 times the price. So that's about it for the cars, sadly. Steffi, Simon, I mean, Horndog, you Simon. Horndog, what questions have you got for us in comments? Have we got any entries for our competition yet?
We've got, that didn't take long.
You know how much fun it's going to be, hey? I mean, we're going to go really fast. Really fast.
No, but they've got to wait until the end, eh?
No, that I can recommend it highly.
3 winners. I think they're going to be happy. They are actually fairly regular viewers as well, which I think is really nice.
No,
terms and conditions apply. They have to get themselves up to the test venue.
Which but then it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just near Swartkop, so it'll be all good.
Andrew, what you got?
Just lots of comments about how this race can be turned on its head. Quinton Lessing coming through saying amazing how it can turn on its head so quickly, and from a great day on Friday for the Southern African teams, it seems like it's unraveled a little bit today. Francois Pretorius said that Julian said they didn't have a support truck. They do have a support truck. It's part of the SRT setup, and that's carrying their spares, but they had limited space, so couldn't sort of load everything they would have wanted to take with them.
I think on a technicality there, the Century Racing team didn't buy space in the SRT truck, and it's the SRT truck that's got CR6 spares in it, so it'll be their goodwill and sporting nature that will share it. So, yeah, Andrew, carry on.
That's about it for the time being. We can move on with the next segment.
Steffi, cars?
Yeah, no, I'm good to go as well. You know, as I say, it wasn't the greatest day out there for Southern Africa. Janelle lost chunks of time. We're sitting with Brian and Tay out on the course still. Shamir had a better day. I think that they're stepping into their strap right now. Very proud of them. And again, every night we say this, that little dark horse, Marcelo Gastaldi, just keeps on. He's a little train that can. You know, I think he's, correct me if I'm wrong, 14th, 15th overall.
15th, he's 4 hours 19th off. But you know what? There are big gaps here, and things can change really, really quickly.
Yep.
Nanny Roma in 5th in the.
On a tiki. Yeah, absolutely.
Nanny Roma in 5th, which is, and Janelle 8th. I mean, that guy will always finish in the top
Just
10.
year after year after year. And when you realize how variable it is, I mean, for all the new people who've been doing it, and you're really going really well, and you're going quick, and then you realize that Janelle's achievement to just year after year never have a major disaster, win it the 1 year, always in the top couple. I mean, it's incredible.
He's got incredible mechanical empathy and understands. This is his 18th Dakar. 17 of them he's finished in the top 10.
It's amazing.
One
it really is.
One he's won, and one he hasn't. I think he was 14th. So Simon, sports car racer.
Yeah.
You didn't like your Ginetta,
or
you loved your Ginetta, but you hate it because it's fragile and costs.
Yeah, and I mean, so the Stewarts and the WCT guys that ran me in the Ginetta kept having these strange sort of off-road looking cars in their garage, and I never paid them much attention. And kind of one day I came in and they said, "Listen, why don't you give it a go?" And I mean, Dakar had always been something that was in the back of my mind, but I'd never driven a car off-road ever. And they said, "We're building this new thing. It's called a side-by-side. We've got one there behind."
This is the first one
This is the first one they built. I mean, amazingly, they designed the chassis that, and the guys are running. I think 5 of the top 10 side-by-sides are running their chassis. They said, let's give it a go. So I said, okay. So we bought the side-by-side. Went out driving the first day, and it scared the living fucking daylights out of me. I mean, it's off-road. There's no tar. Yeah. You don't know where you're going.
And this thing
there's
is quick,
bushes. No, this thing's really quick. It's really quick. There's bushes. There's a navigator next to you. I mean, it was a whole different story. But Stuart and him and the guys stuck by me, and by the end of there we go. That's it. By the end of that's what we'll be doing for the test driving if whoever's coming. By the end of the season, I think we won one of the national off-roads, or won second or third in another one. We won a couple of the regionals. The pace was really good. It's a whole new world. You're driving, you don't know, is it left or right, until the navigator says you must turn left or right.
And you've got Achim Bergman, who
Yes,
actually...
and Achim only tells you once, and
Yes.
then you must listen.
Yeah.
And if you're slow, then...
And Achim, just for those who don't know, Achim is the designer
Yeah.
of many, many things, and
So,
designer of the chassis,
I mean,
rocket scientist of
you
note.
know, Achim's the last time I was out in the Janetta and got back into this car, and I was a bit all over the show. Achim said, that Janetta's fucking up your off-road racing. You know, we must be done with it and concentrate on this. So, I mean, I then was sitting down about a week ago, and we've lost Stuart, but he's over there with South Racing, which is the factory Can-Am team. Looking at the footage, messaging Stuart after a glass or two of wine, and now I'm committed. And next
I think
next
it's
year I'm
absolutely
going.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
well
I'm very
done. And
excited.
it's a big thing.
It's weird because suddenly all these memories are coming back of Dakar now when I was a little kid and listening, I don't know, on the radio, on holiday in December, and you're watching it on TV. I mean, it's quite intimidating, you know, hearing now about cars coming in so far behind. But I mean, I think it's an incredible adventure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something amazing about taking South African built design Can-Am over there. Give it a go.
In 2022, we're going to have a massive contingent of South African drivers. Already there were 40-something odd, I forget the exact number of South African cars, if you include the side-by-sides, that were built there. We've got Southern African crews, we've got bike crews, and next year there are going to be a massive number. It's going to be completely proper. We're going to have to take Boerewors.
It's an adventure. You know, and I mean, I think especially in these times when we're all locked at home and you know, there's not a lot of adventure around in the world, but I mean, to go and do Dakar is just, it really is something special. And I think the side-by-sides, you know, they're not very well known, I guess, outside of Dakar, but for the guys that are going to come and get to do the drives in them, you'll see they were incredibly quick. They unbelievably exhilarating and fun cars to drive. You know, it's a real privilege to get to race one. You know, if you see it on Dakar footage, maybe they look a little bit like the poor cousin of all the Dakar stuff, but when you're in them, they're exquisite. I mean, they're just an unbelievable piece of engineering and so much fun and so fast. And so, yeah, I'm really amped.
You know, the quad at the moment, the top one, Domzala, he's taken 32 hours and 30 seconds to get at the moment. And if we go to the cars, and I'm just going while we're busy talking, Horndog, when you got questions, you must let us know. Hey? And if we go to 32 hours, he would be sitting in around about 22nd position overall.
Again, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know, but they've slowed the side-by-sides down sort of deliberately over the years because they are so competitive.
And they were getting embarrassed
yes,
because
so
they would be drilling cars.
The side-by-sides are limited to 130 kilometers an hour top speed, whereas the car's at 180-ish, I think. So, you know, on a speed through corners and a kind of driving dynamics of the cars, they really
and
are.
Dunes, they're proper on the dunes.
Apparently, I'll find out when we go.
Horndog.
Yeah. Simon, you seem pretty amped about Dakar. You seem pretty
Can you not be
confident
amped about Dakar?
No, sure, fair enough. Just on your point, what scares you the most about Dakar? And I think you can sort of reiterate that 130 k's an hour trekking through the bush is moving. That's it's not slow.
No. I mean, you know, the obvious, most terrifying thing is the budget, and the Dakar budget is that's
hey,
scary.
you run a Janetta, don't come with that story. I know
that's why the budget. No, I don't know. It's the whole thing. I mean, I've barely driven off-road cars before. I've never driven in the sand, never in the desert. I've never done a car race that kind of length. So the whole thing's a bit intimidating. But, you know, I was trying to think about it's not wildly dissimilar to the Cape Epic as a mountain bike race. Maybe it's a bit quicker, and I did the Epic a while ago. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it in little bite-sized pieces. And, you know, hopefully if a million things fall into place and the plans work, then I'll be there next year. But you almost can't think too much about the overall scale of it, otherwise you'll just get paralyzed and never do anything. So
you've got to have that dream first of all, which you've had the dream.
Yeah.
Now you've
only
publicized
a couple of days
it.
ago.
Yeah.
Yes,
but you've put it out publicly. Now you can't back out.
No.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
not
that
a
would
wimp.
just be
You're a
exactly.
man of,
No,
of
it's
steel.
it's when you see the guys racing through the sand like that, it's mad. I mean, it's mad.
Yeah.
It really is mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have to
Okay,
practice.
so now in September, there's the Kalahari
I think it got
Desert
cancelled.
Race.
Or have they rescheduled it?
No, that's the Toyota Desert
Okay,
Race. So
yeah.
there's the Kalahari
Yes,
race.
yes.
That's the one that it's a stage race as well.
Yes, yes.
You've got to do that.
Yeah, definitely. No, we'll do them all. Again, the amazing thing about the side-by-sides is they are not that expensive to run at lots of events, unlike the front-running cars. So this year we did, this car's probably done 3,000 odd kilometers, and we only started driving it halfway through lockdown. So you're able to do a lot of mileage. Hopefully we can get to spend a lot of time in the sand.
It's about half a Dakar,
Yeah. And we did that in 6 months.
as opposed to 1 week.
Yeah, no, look, it's going to be quite hard.
Intense.
But yeah, so absolutely, you have to get on the sand, do the sand event.
I think it's absolutely
When you
brilliant.
do it, you got to,
Send us your
Simon,
comments.
Yeah.
Simon, you talk about the budget being intimidating for
Yeah.
Dakar and that car. Give us a ballpark. This was a question that we answered yesterday on the biking section. Maybe you can help us cover a min-off mere figure.
I think you can go from at the top end, arrive, drive, every part on the planet thrown at the car. It's not your car, and you leave after the race. You're at about 200,000 euros. We're going to be quite a lot south of that, but that's what you're at for top team, top car, flat out
You
parts,
could run.
everything.
Effectively, you've got the chance of a podium.
No,
if
no,
can
you
drive
are
quick enough.
running the exact car that the front side by side is running with the exact amount of spares and everything thrown at it. I think it's, if you're a bit more scared of the budget, my understanding is you're probably in for a good bike budget is kind of where you'd end up in a side by side.
It's weird that, when you said, 200,000, that doesn't sound a lot.
Until you
say
multiply,
euro.
yeah, exactly. It all seemed fine until
Yeah,
you
it was
told me.
great until you said you spoiled the party by euros.
The thing with the side by sides is you don't need the skill of the bikers. I mean, you can never get that skill your whole life. You can ride 100 hours. I mean, I just can't. They're not the budget of the cars, but they're the safety of a car, not like a quad. It really just fits in this really cool sweet spot, and cost wise is not like a front running car.
Steffi, just talking about bikes and craziness, you've got an update on James Alexander. Where's he now?
You know what? We promised everyone we would keep a close eye on our absolute little legend, James. The Kalahari Madala is struggling a little bit. So he's gone through PK 358. But word is out, it's just come through to me now that he might be having a few nav issues. Fritz, if you can throw that graphic up for us, we'll have a look. It seems as if there is a bit of a confusion going on there. So come on, James. We need you to point that bike in the right direction, Mr. Teapot. But if anything else comes through, I'll hop in and give you an update.
Awesome stuff. So
Maybe he has found a cup of tea over there. Some more guys camping in the desert, and he's pulled over. I don't know. Let's hope.
I mean, that's got to be scary, hey? It's the middle of the night. You're all on your own. You're on a bike.
yeah.
You're navigating on, I don't know, a roll of paper on the front. I mean, the tears are going to start welling up for sure.
Yeah.
Well, mine would. I mean,
Yeah, but then
that's properly intimidating.
But I think that we had a discussion yesterday with some of the guys who'd Dakar alumni, and the one thing that comes out of all of them is that we can sit here and imagine how hard it is, but you never know how tough you are until you've had true hardship. I mean, as a St. John's boy, a Jeppy boy would have a much better chance than like St. John's, because St. John's, that's like a softy school. I mean, even Kez is like a little bit tougher than that. And how are you going to take a softy St. John's boy, put him in the desert? Simon, you're going to have a whole bag of cement to harden him.
I'm going to take the fifth on that. I mean, we're not going to get into that. I was trying to think about like other stuff I've done, and I don't know, the Cape Epic.
You've done the Epic,
which
okay,
was 10
respect for
days
that.
and 10 hours of mountain biking a day, and it's hard, and you've got to pedal and do the.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'm going to try and draw on all sorts of other stuff. I think if you're with a team like Stuart and him and the guys, you're with a team and people have done it before, and you know, the other amazing thing about cross country racing, and I don't know how many people know this, but the South African cross country racing is unbelievable.
It's quick.
It's I've never in my life experienced anything like. You go and you do a race here, they've got a loop of 250 k's. I mean, and you drive for 250. You don't go around the same corner twice. So we've got incredible racing.
That was one of the things that
Incredible
you liked
racing.
about cross country racing as opposed to track racing, where you go 12
Yeah.
corners on a track.
Yeah.
And
And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like cross country racing in South Africa is like you can go and race around the Nürburgring or Spa. It's that quality of track, you know, which we just don't have on circuit racing. So, you know, part of preparing, I guess, you do a lot of the races, which, there we go. Yeah. Again, it's amazing. It's unbelievable.
what we really need to see is, and we still have the challenge, and I know we joke half the time, but you do need a white overall.
I've got a white overall, but I don't know
Not
if
for
I can
long,
wear
you
it off
don't?
road. Yeah, not for long. It'll be a very particular shade of brown.
No, we've seen
Yeah,
you,
there we go. That's one of the races. I'm getting flashbacks to the race, but I can't remember which one it was.
That's Paris, I
That's
think.
Paris. That's it. It was Paris. Yep.
And thanks for letting us
So
put
Simon,
the
I've done quite a bit of circuit racing, and I'd love to go as a passenger with you.
Come.
I've
Anytime.
never had the opportunity to be
Come.
in an off-road car, and I'd love to
Come.
just
We'll
try and understand it.
we'll hook it up for next time. So
Okay, thank you.
you don't have to bring a white overall.
I do have one, so that's good.
No, it will blow your mind, because the thing that's the most like driving this is like driving the Janetta, which you say, how is that possible that a hard it feels the same.
That's
I don't know how, I can't tell it, but it does. It really is special. So yeah, come, I'd love to take you for some laps.
Thank you.
I haven't even been, I mean, I've got work
Yeah, but
to
you've
do
been
during the
offered and
day.
you keep being busy
No, I
every time
truly
there's a
am busy.
there's a
Oh,
test day there.
Some of us
Busy
have to
and-
work
yeah,
for a
yeah.
living, unlike
Well, come
Playboys.
come with Andrew. No,
we'll work something.
busy, yeah.
We will work something out. Right. It's a long day. If you just keep looking, just update us on James and Brian and Tay.
Ryan
while
and
we-
Tay are limping. They are
Yeah.
moving, but it is painfully slow.
what kind of speed are they doing? Can you see? Just out of interest in.
I can't see, but over the last sort of 15 minutes, they've moved about yo much on the map.
Oh.
But it's a time. I can't equate it for you immediately, but yeah, they're limping. And James Alexander he's moving, but he's sort of doing circles looking for where he's going.
is he close to a waypoint there?
So. Yeah, there's an update on Tay and Brian, which says the concern there is they can't miss 2 waypoints in a row, and they can't miss more than 10 waypoints in a day. And I think that includes hidden waypoints. So if they can't get through where they need to get through by midnight, not good.
It's amazing how things just snowball. when you're on top of it, and when it starts going wrong, I mean, it doesn't go like medium wrong. It just goes horrible.
It's like a bucket of
Yeah,
poo hitting
yeah.
a fan. It's
No.
just all
Thanks
over.
for that.
No, we just had to
It's a
get-
beautiful picture.
It
mate.
is,
Yeah.
Just think of that when you. Right, so tomorrow they go from, and it's actually quite where they're due to go to today is quite aptly named.
And you guys you're skipping out. You're not even talking about side by sides. You're
Aaron
already on
Gonzalez
to tomorrow.
and Magic Martin are leading
with this-
overall.
Okay, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so there you go.
And Stuart's grumpy and doesn't want to update us.
Yeah, but
and we-
Stuart's
and
busy
we-
working on. I mean,
on-
I can't see that far, so I don't know what it's saying on the screen. But I mean, Stuart and the South Racing team are, and the him and Stuart's chassis are all over that top 10.
No, it's
Talking of
absolutely
Achim,
proper.
Achim
Yes.
is watching, and Achim sent me a WhatsApp complaining that the screen's reflecting in my glasses. You talk about him and talking once, Simon. There you go. I don't hear from Achim for months, and I get a message saying, "Take your glasses
Okay,
off." 'cause I can
now
see
you
your
must
screen."
understand when you're when he's you know what I'm saying? And then he's your navigator. It's,
Yep.
it's
You're
a
not-
You know what the
Okay.
fun part
It's a tough
is?
school.
Is when we there to try and we look always to the driver for the interview because we go to the superstar international models who are trying to drive, and then he tells us, gives us the very short version of
Yes.
what happened,
Yeah.
and it's quite different stories. Eh, Sam?
Him's a genius.
He's a proper genius
He's a
and a
genius.
cool.
He's one of the most talented race car engineers in this country. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right. So Domzala and Francisco Lopez is third in the overall, and that's that's their Chico.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Do-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chico Lopez. See, it says South Racing
Yes,
Can-Am.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
why Stuart can't talk.
Yeah, because he's
and the Monster Energies are him as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just Can-Am.
Yes, Can-Am.
So what drinks company is going to sponsor you, or
Oh, we're gonna.
the Simon Murray Drinks Company? Right. So they went.
But Swaya water.
So the place they're in tonight is called Sakaka, and I actually think that is actually what it is all about. And tomorrow they go from Sakaka to Naum. It's a long day, total 374 Ks of racing, around about 700 Ks of driving. So the green route that you see there is where the service crews will go. And in fact, they actually are in Naum already. And tomorrow the guys are going to be racing. So the sleeping arrangement, we've actually got some pictures of the bivouac in Naum. In fact, in Sakaka. Fritzy, thank you for reminding me. If you'll show us where the guys are dorsing. So there's
It's quality, eh?
yeah.
That's 5-star.
Yeah, that's proper. And when the oaks are farting and snoring next to you, you
that'll be
just,
fun.
it's absolutely perfect. And then the ladies have got a separate quarters, of course. And then there's the guys are working. They're having the crews are having a little bit of downtime. There's lots of braai races going on in tonight. There you go. Braai race for the Toyota Gazoo racing team. That looks absolutely proper. You see how the Buddha have sorted out the wind, and this is just some of the driving. I saw pictures of the guys driving in pelting rain. It's rain in the desert. But
Is that the cruise? In
yeah,
between?
but they're very close to Iraq, so they're nearly between. Yeah, they're very close to Iraq, and if they're missiles that will fly, then they're in deep poo. Steffi Vetter in the southern tip of the greatest continent on the earth. What tomorrow? You're going to have a bit of a restless night tonight, waiting for news on both James and on Brian and Tay.
Absolutely, Colin. As I said last night, for our sins, we don't leave anyone out in the desert. So Johan and I are up until they come in. I've just had word in that the Century CR6 assistance crew has just arrived in Naum. So that's 811 kilometers they've done today. So they've just arrived there. So that's good news. That's good news. And with a 375 kilometer super special stage tomorrow, our hearts are going to be with them. All we can say is let's hope it's a better day for Southern Africa, because we really need it. Our guys need it, and we'll be here. We'll update you again in the morning.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, Steffi. It's been really nice that you've joined us. You certainly have added to the show and I've learnt a truckload from listening to you, and I thank you for you and the whole Southern Africa Dakar Group team. You really have been a great addition. Now, Horndog,
Yes.
the competition. So what was the answer to our competition? It was, Simon, your fuel partner in your side-by-side is who?
Total.
Total Excellium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not just normal Total.
It's
Excellium.
Excellium.
Yeah.
Did anybody get the correct answers, Horndog?
There was lots of Total and not so many Excelliums, but
I think you have to get both bits. I don't know.
I would go with both
I would
because,
go with both,
you
yeah.
try and cover
Yeah.
the bases. So if you really want to
then
get
you got
a...
one winner.
No, well then.
No, hold on. Well,
no.
then give the guys a chance. You've
No,
now
I'm-
got the answer, you can... Are they still allowed to enter?
Whatever you guys want, cool with me.
All right. In the soul, just like any good dictatorship, we shall assign our own competition command council. So our triple C, the head commander, He who shall be obeyed. Andrew Horn, you are the sole judge and adjudicator. Tell us the 3 people who've won.
Okay. Purely because they have tuned in religiously to every show, and they were the quickest fingers out there. Congratulations, Andrew Spark, Quinton Lessing, and Brink Heinemann. You were the first 3 to answer that one. And yeah, please,
Cool,
will you send
Very
us
nice.
a message, and we will put you in touch with the relevant people to set it up and organize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your people to send it to my people, and they'll send it to your people.
And then we'll do it.
There you go. Well done, guys, and thank you very much
Andrew
for watching.
Andrew Spark particularly is a regular with loads of comments, loads of questions,
Brilliant.
and a big fan of the show. So I think that's really cool.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be cool.
Last comments from
Thank you,
you.
Simon.
Well, Simon, from you. Last sort of thoughts on Dakar and
There's something special about this race. I mean, if you just see the passion that it gets with everyone, and the interest and the excitement, and it's amazing to be.
You've got to
part
be
of it.
part of it. Eh?
I'm
now
really,
you are.
I'm really excited. I'm
Simon
committed now.
Murray,
I'm committed now.
2022 entrant into Dakar in his Can-Am. Horn Dog, last comments from you?
Bugger, Andrew Spark is in Cape Town, but he can't make it. So then that falls.
Hold on.
No,
Hold the
I'm
thought.
happy. If Andrew comes up, we'll make it work for him.
Or when you take your truck, your thing
we
to
don't
Cape
have a
Town.
race in Cape Town, so. But if he's ever up in Joburg, we can do it. Otherwise, get another.
There we go.
I'm happy to.
Cool. We'll put it up in the comments.
Okay.
Awesome stuff.
Lovely stuff.
Last comments from me. Let's just hope tomorrow is a much better day. And we will keep you posted on Ryan and Tay and
Yeah, it's brutal. Hey,
James Alexander.
it's brutal.
Yeah. So James is still out, just looking at the thing here. I'll go right down to the bottom. And I do see that he's past 358. He hasn't made 398 yet. So we're
he's
holding
halfway
thumbs for
between
James
the two doing
Alexander.
circles.
Yeah, right. Steffi Vetter, thank you so much for joining us. Andrew Horn, thank you very much. To our production crew, Henk and Fritz, thank you for putting up with us and for all your hard work that you put into this show. Without you guys, we would be absolutely lost. And to international superstar model, current legend, gangster of note, and 2022 Dakar entrant, Simon
Dakar
Murray.
entrant hopeful.
No, you are the Dakar entrant. If you don't do it, then we'll have to have a discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's
Thanks, guys.
always nice to talk to you, and
Pleasure.
love your enthusiasm, your smile,
Pleasure.
and your passion for racing. Keep it up.
Cool, guys. Thank you.
And to you, who've spent a week watching us, we've got 1 week to go. How cool is this? Dakar is getting C for serious at the moment. Thanks a lot for watching us. And remember, our new principal sponsor, DBAC, the world's largest movement. You too, coming shortly, we have a membership scheme. Think about it. And in different ways to apply. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, be kind to each other. See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Good.